or over on Facebook, thank you so much for stopping by. We are doing a flower tutorial, and I love working with florals. I've done it once for a wedding before, and I also did them for my own event. And I will say there's a definite art that comes with doing florals. It's not always super duper easy. So if you're considering doing your own florals for an event, I highly recommend that you practice because there's a little bit of a learning curve to it. But once you spend the time getting to know these products and learning what heights and different textures that you like, things can come together really, really well. Without further ado, let's do our own little flower tutorial. You want to make sure that you are ordering them with plenty of time to get everything done, which means you need to have them a few days in advance. If you're having a Saturday event, then I would say pick them up on a Thursday or maybe even on a Wednesday. So that way you have plenty of time to work with them. You have enough time for the blooms to open up. Today I opted for this really cool, I think it's a candy dish bowl that I got from a local antique shop. This one was about $7. And the reason I picked up something like this is because I like the height that it provides, and it really means that we can have some really cool like draping coming off the sides of this, which will be really, really beautiful. I also have already on hand Oasis floral foam, and I've gone ahead and already soaked this particular one in water for about 10 minutes. Just so it can provide a water source for all of the florals that we're working with. If you have some on hand or if you order some ahead of time, I would say it's a good idea to tape this down with waterproof floral tape because then it really keeps it from moving around. But since I'm just doing this in my house and I couldn't find the floral tape in the garage, we're just gonna go ahead and run with this. The reason that I chose to work with foam is because this will give me a lot more control over where the florals are placed. One tip when working with foam is once you place a floral, try to not move it around because then you're just gonna create a bigger hole. And my goal for this is to make an asymmetrical design. It's not gonna be perfectly round, it's actually gonna have some of those lovely trailing bits that we were talking about a little bit ago. This like long trail happening over here. I'm gonna want to mimic that on the opposite side, but let's go ahead and incorporate some of that really, really cool seeded eucalyptus because those seeds offer such a fun texture. Another tip when you're doing florals is always be turning the display, because especially if you're working with a round table, guests are going to be viewing this from all angles. What I'm also doing while this is going on is I am purposely pointing a lot of these downwards because you don't want anyone to see this. This is not attractive. You want to be sure to cover all of that up. So as I'm turning, I'm peeking and looking for openings in which I can put some greenery to make sure that the mechanics of all of this is well hidden. Good enough foundation going all the way around the perimeter that I feel like we could probably start building up. So we have this height over here, so I'm gonna wanna go ahead and create height in the back area as well. So it kind of balances it out. So it's not matching, it's just well balanced. Really starting to bug me is how long this piece is. It just feels like it's a little out of place to me. So the great part about working with foam is that you can edit this display. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now before I get too much into this. But don't be afraid to go back and change something once you've done it. Of person that does well without like a formula. Although I like to think of myself as a creative soul, I need to have a little bit of like a purpose for what I'm doing because otherwise it's just gonna come out looking like a hot mess and then I'm gonna hate it. So, stuff's falling out. As I was doing this, I knocked pieces out. So foam is great, but it's not cement. If you're doing them for your own event, make sure whoever's working with them or moving them for you is aware that this is not a permanent fixed state and you can knock stuff out if you're a klutz like I am. So I'm gonna start with the hydrangeas and yank off these leaves, because I know from experience that hydrangea leaves start to look extremely sad after a while. So although they're really, really pretty green, we're just gonna go ahead and get rid of those. Okay. So again, we've got this like varied design. In fact, it looks a little chaotic. I'm hoping it comes together. This is why you practice your florals. Kind of have these two different points that are happening. I'm gonna mimic the same idea with the hydrangeas. If I processed my flowers well beforehand, I could have pulled off all of the gross looking stuff, but I didn't because the baby's napping and I only have so much time, so I'm processing them as I go. And with this one, I'm actually going to buddy it up with another one. Oh my gosh. I don't know where you came from. Okay. I'll do it again over here. When it comes to roses, I like to do them in a trio. I'm gonna keep it a little bit on the long side because you can always trim off more afterwards, but you can't make it grow back. A little bit lower. Cool. I'm digging where this is going, guys. Normally I hate my flower projects, but this one is on point, which is good because this is the one that we're filming. Let's grab these freaking gorgeous dahlias that are the whole reason that I did this display. And let's see, maybe one right here. Okay. And turn this one around so you can see it. I kind of like the idea of nestling this one somewhat in between the hydrangea. So that, like that. No, that looks stupid. Don't do that. We're just going to edit. Okay. Because we have a bunch of pinks and purples kind of right together right here, I'm gonna wanna put some whites in between to make sure that we diffuse that so it's not like a big pocket of color, because that'll be distracting to the eye. So instead, we get some of these cute little spray roses. Keep this one nice and long, again, because I can always go back and go shorter. Here, I need to do them over here. Giant hole up at the top, so I'm going to take this lemon leaf, which usually I don't go back with heavy greenery, but because there's such a big hole and I don't want to add any more florals, because all the big ones I have left are white, we're going to add in pop of dark green at the top. Ooh. Really like these unopened buds on the dahlias. I actually really kind of like this. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of some of this. This is a bit much. This has a very kind of like a wild boho feeling to it. I do think that this area is still a little bit heavy for my taste. So actually, there we go. Don't be afraid to edit, because you're gonna have no idea what you're doing. So what I'm gonna do is probably off camera stare at this for another 15-20 minutes and realize that there are some more holes that I need to tend to. But all in all, this took about 20 minutes. Now, things that I will encourage you to do. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you practice when you're working with florals, especially if you're planning on doing them for your wedding day, because you don't want to buy things that you're not going to end up using. You will need to buy a bunch of stems because you will get a couple of duds in there, and you're going to want some spares to replace any of the florals that may have gotten damaged in transit from wherever you put them together and from wherever your event is. I mean, I happen to think this is kind of therapeutic, so I really enjoy this. But this may not be for you. So if you're contemplating doing florals for your own event, I highly suggest that you go out, you grab some florals, order some of this Oasis foam because it makes your life so much easier, and give it a try, because who knows, you may be a budding florist. Pun intended! Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, like it, subscribe to this channel for more tips and tricks for the modern day bride. If you are watching this on Wedding Chicks, jump on over to YouTube, search my name, hit subscribe, because we are putting out videos every single week and you don't want to miss it. As always, a huge, huge shout out to my gal pals over at Wedding Chicks for hosting this video. Until next time.